Welcome to another edition of RockSim Live. I am Tim Van Milligan. I am your host today. I'm pretty much the host almost every day that we do this. This is RockSim Live, where we talk about RockSim, RockSim Pro, and the Launch Visualizer. I do have the chat going, and we have 3D Printer Guy. He is the first one to put into the chat. Which is really great. And he says he's from England. Wow, that is so awesome. It must be like 10 o'clock there. Let me see. It's yeah, a little after 10 p.m. I guess he's going to watch us so that he can go to sleep. I got to do something exciting. Wake you up. We have David King here. Oh, hello, David. Yes, I do have the chat going, and if you have a question, go ahead and put that in, because my agenda is whatever you want to talk about as far as RockSim, RockSim Pro, and the Launch Visualizer go. So go ahead and put that in there. Oh man, we got now they're starting to come in. They're starting to flow through. We got Reggie Morrow here and Stirk03 as well. Have checked in. Thank you for checking in. And if you're just watching, go ahead and check in. Just say hello and where you're watching from so we can recognize you. It's been a crazy week. It was Christmas week here. Did you get everything that you wanted? Go ahead and put in into the chat your favorite rocketry gift that you got this year. I'm interested in to see what's the favorite gift. I got a new mold. I bought it for myself, and I made my first carbon fiber tube out of that mold today, and it came out. It was gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So that's my thing. 3D Printer Guy says, "Wake me up, please. I'm building a model rocket kit while watching today." Cool. Speaking of the my fiberglass or carbon fiber tube that I was making, let's see, what am I doing here? The NAR. So events, there it is hosting NARCon 2024, and it's Friday, January 26th. Let me go to my screen here. There we go. Okay, so NARCon is Friday, January 26th through Sunday, January 28th, and I am going to be one of the speakers, and what I'm going to be talking about is how to make carbon fiber tubes using a mold. And if you scroll down onto the website here, here I am, and you click on me, you get a little bio, and then it talks about my session right here. So that's what I'm going to be talking about, how to make carbon fiber tubes with female molds. And I got a brand new mold, and maybe I'll even show it during that. So if you're not coming to NARCon, or if you're not signed up, go ahead and make sure you sign up. These can't be all the speakers, because there's more people here than there's slots. So it's got to be people that are going to show up. Steve Crystal he's going to compete, have a panel discussion. Rohan, he is going to speak as well. Maybe all these people are speaking. No, she's not speaking here. Oh, Rebecca Zurich. Yeah, see, she's going to Embry-Riddle. I got to plug my alma mater. She's going to Embry-Riddle. So I am rooting for her. And for what she does there at Embry-Riddle and down in Daytona Beach, Florida. So we're not here to talk about Embry-Riddle. But I do encourage you to go to NARCon. It's going to be great. And since I'm speaking, I took it down a notch, but I think the topic is pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's my passion right now, is making carbon fiber stuff. I can't sell any of it because it's just like way too expensive because of my labor time, personal labor time. But it's, I can teach other people how to do it, and I want to. My goal in life is to raise the bar in rocketry. I want you guys out there, guys and gals, to do projects that are going to push your skills. And if everybody's doing that, it's going to generate some phenomenal excitement in the hobby. And we are going to see, there's been fantastic progress in the hobby in the last 20 years. And I want to make the next 20 even better by raising your standards, raising your skills, to push you to do something great. And that's why we sell products that we do, including RockSim. So to find RockSim, if you come to our website, apogeerockets.com, there's a scrolling banner bar here, and one of them is the RockSim. You can click on that, and that will take you to where you can find out more information. You can also go to the how-to and guides menu right here, and then come down here to software. And here is our RockSim and RockSim, the video tutorials, the free trial, the features, the system requirements, all that important information that you need. Right now, what we're doing is the RockSim Live training, and that's what we're doing right now. So this right here is what we're doing, and we're on episode number 150. Oh boy, this is another episode with a 0 on the end. So today is December 29th, 2023. On this page here is the archive of previous episodes and what we talked about. So you can see those, and these numbers here are timestamps. So if you go here to the YouTube video and then you scrub through the video to like 35 minutes and 43 seconds, you'll see how to add a payload tube to the Hermes HLV. So yeah, that's really useful information. Let me just check in here and see if we got anything going on. 3D printer guy says, my missus got me an Estes altimeter. It will come into good use. Does Estes still make an altimeter? I do not know. Reggie Morrow from Iowa, he says he got an X15. Woo! That's a nice little gift. So on our website, if you go here to the search bar and you type in X-15, and here is what that rocket kit looks like. He'll make you a big picture right here. Is the X-15 kit. Here's where I took a picture of it taken off. This is what it's about, the size of it, so you can get a reference. Here's a one from Bob Smith. He sent in that photo. Beautiful rocket that he built. Here's the real one. This is a scale model. So that was, what the real one looks like, and here's all the parts that you get. So that's cool. Congratulations, Reggie. I know what you're going to be doing. I want to see photos, Reggie, when you get it flown. No questions yet here in the chat. So if you have a question, send it on in. I'm looking for topics to talk about. I'm at that point where I'm ready to start doing something. Yeah, so this is December 29th. So coming up on Monday is January 1st, New Year's Day. It's going to be 2024. Looking forward to 2024. We had a phenomenal 2023 here at Apogee. We did so many new kits. We did 12 new kits this year, one a month. That was our goal when we started the year. And we did it. And most of the credit goes to Martin McKee He's the product designer now. I've kind of turned over the reins. So if I go to the shopping menu and then come down here to view rockets by manufacturer, and if we scroll down to Apogee, I can kind of try to remember which ones that we did this year. The Black Brant VC is a new one. The Catalyst, that one's brand new. The Catalyst we just released this week. Did I talk about that last week? I don't think I did. This is the Catalyst. It's 4 fins, 3-inch diameter tube, and a 5-to-1 ogive nose cone. 29 millimeter engine mount here in the back. This is when we flew it just a few weeks ago. It just ripped off into the sky. This was on a F-67, and you can see that big old nice flame. That's about how big it is. You can see it's 3 inches in diameter. There was snow on the ground, but it was actually 50 degrees out, so that snow didn't stick around very long. It was a beautiful day when we launched it. Yeah, just, you get a nylon parachute, Kevlar shock cord. And it actually does come with a heat shield, and I didn't fly it with a heat shield on that particular flight. But normally there would be a heat shield hanging off there as well. You can see it here in the photograph right there. It's kind of what it looks like. The parachute you get, the tubes, laser cut tubes, and it's got a rail buttons, so you have to launch it off the rail. But it does also come with a launch lug, just in case. It's kind of one of those kits that's on the hairy edge of, do I need to launch it off a rod or a rail? If you fly high power, you got to go with a rail. But if you're going with an F, you can even fly it on E engines, like an Estes E16 is the smallest engine. It will fly just fine. But on that motor, it's like, do I need to really go off of a rail? So we included a launch lug, so you could always put that on as an option. Plywood centering rings. There's the launch lug and the rail buttons. There's the fins, and these are plywood fins, so they're really nice fins. There's our 3-inch nose cone, and that nose cone is brand new. That was one of the other new ones that we created this week. Okay, I'm looking at, let me go back here, go through the list real quick. Draco was another new kit that we came out with this year. The Feathered Flyer. The Hermes HLV was new this year. Kronos was new this year. Quick Draw was new this year. The strap-on booster pods. We did a 20 BT50 size. So that's 33 millimeter. That was new. The Wayfarer was new. The TTV was new. I'm probably missing something. I don't know if I got all 12 of them, but we did do 12. It was a lot of work. Martin did great. Martin did awesome. Okay, so we did have some more stuff going on over here in the chat. Let me read what's going on. MOB Rocket says, received my Catalyst today. Can't wait to build and fly that thing. That's awesome. The Catalyst is flying off the shelves too, so that's good news. So 3D Printer Guy says, do you know if Cesaroni are still having supplies issues? The UK supplier is short of motors. Yes, Cesaroni is still having supply issues. We are having a hard time getting stuff. They just released an announcement earlier this past month that for the SLI launch, which is the Student Launch Initiative, and it happens, I believe, down in New Mexico at the spaceport there. Cesaroni says basically we're not going to be able to supply motors for that event because of their supply issues. It's certain propellant formulations, so it must be like specific chemicals that they're having a hard time to get. Because it's not all of their motors, but it's a good chunk. And they said that they hope to have that issue sorted out early in the year. So by later in the year, their supply issue should go away. So yeah, everybody's crossing their fingers. Reggie Morrow says, can you show us again how to add a wrap to your rocket in RockSim? Like a decal wrap. Okay, we can do that. And we have Fat Bank is here. He's saying hello from Texas. And Mark Sell says hello from Parker, Colorado. Happy New Year, everyone. Building a new range box today. That's awesome. I hope you need to fill it with some tools. If you need to get some rocket tools, go to the Apogee website, go to building supplies, and then come down here to the tool section. One of the other things that we did this year is we released 12 new rocket tools, and we were giving them away one per month with a purchase. And this month it's a Apogee branded hobby knife, but we did a needle file set, the digital scale, the curved decal scissors. This is the hobby knife that is our current one right now. We did the alligator forceps this year, the sanding burr set with pin vise. Yeah. One a month. We were just, this year was just intense here at Apogee. Next year, we got some other plans. I don't want to reveal everything, but it's looking pretty cool again. Probably not as many kits, but definitely things worth talking about. Okay, so let's put on a decal on a rocket. So first we need a rocket. So let's open up a rocket design. Let's try this one. Does this one? I don't. Okay, so here is a rocket. And what we can do is we can color the components. But what if you want to put graphics on your components? So, like that launch lug, it's bothering me. I got to change it. So if you want to change the color of an item, first you need to highlight it. And you can highlight it in the drawing, or you can highlight it in the parts tree, which is in the Rocket Design Components tab. Let's see if I can click on it here. There we go. I got that front launch lug. It highlights it, then just double click on it and come down here to color. And this is the 3D color. So let me go to a 3D view and zoom in. And we're changing the color. Right now it's blue, so you just double click on this. And I'm just going to switch it to yellow. And boom, just like that. That one is fixed. And I got to fix this other one over here. Here's the other one. Do the same thing. Hit the color. Double click on that. Select your color. Click OK. And now all my colors are correct. So if I zoom in, there we go. Okay, so first to put we call them textures. You might call them a decal, but in RockSim they're called textures. So we're going to add a texture, and you can add it to pretty much any part. But first you need what that texture is going to say. So let me open up a drawing program and let's draw a texture. Yeah, so I use Adobe Illustrator, but on your computer you can use like Microsoft Paint, Corel Draw. Any drawing program will work. I just like Illustrator because I've been using it for forever. So don't think it has to be Illustrator. Basically, we need to be able to create a design and export it out as a JPEG or a PNG file. I don't know why this is taking so long to load Illustrator. Mark Sell says, can you add a texture to just a fin? And there it is, it's loading. My computer went black. So what the heck happened? Okay. Okay, so let's open up a brand new file. And one of the things that it really helps when you're making a texture, particularly a wrap around a fin or around a tube, is to know how long the tube is. So let me go back to RockSim and figure out how long this tube is. So this is the tube we're going to wrap. You can see it. This is a two-stage rocket. So this tube down here is the bottom stage. Here's the top stage tube. And if I double click on the body tube, okay, so this tube is 9 inches long and it has an outside diameter of 1.32 inches. So remember that. That's also going to be important. So what we want to make is we want to make the graphic. We're going to make a wrap. Just imagine a piece of paper going around the entire surface of the tube. Even if you're just using a little part of it, you want to make the wrap. It just works better if you do it full size to the size of the tube. So this tube was 9 inches long and 1.32 inches in diameter. So it's a BT55. So I'm going to create it. So I got 11 inches long piece of paper here. So I'm going to choose that and say create. And it will create a new document for me. It's a sheet of paper. Ooh, generative AI features with demo to see their potential. Let's try that. Maybe we can come up with something cool. Okay. Quick. Generative AI, now in Illustrator. We're going to try. Let's name this a, we need to create a logo. I need an idea for a name of a rocket. How about custom? Logo with the word custom in the shape of flames. Let me put custom in parentheses just in case. You ever play with AI? I don't know if this is going to work or not. We're trying it. Trail style graphics. It's thinking. We're doing something different today. There's a lot of AI programs out there that will generate artwork. And so if you wanted to generate artwork for your rocket, try it out in AI. You never know what you might come up with. It's taken a little bit longer. Done. So it threw something here. Choose a variation. And I can't. I'm trying to zoom in on this. It spelled custom wrong. There's one. I told it in the shape of a flame, remember? Well, that one spelled custom wrong too, but I got a shape of a flame. And the third one, that's kusum. We'll use that. All right. So, it opened up this thing here. Oh, look at that. It put it into the properties. All right. Okay, so I want to select that group. I want to copy that. And I'm going back to my blank page. So here's my blank page. And okay, to start a graphic, we need a box. So this is going to be wrapped around our rocket. Let me create a new layer here. And I'm going to paste my flame custom. And I'm going to hide that layer for right now. Okay, so this box here has to be 9 inches long, and it has to go around a tube that's 1.32 inches in diameter. So I'm going to go, first I'm going to change the dimensions of the box. And so I got a width of 10 inches, so I need to make that 9 inches. And then my height is the circumference. So to get the circumference of a circle, it's just pi times the diameter. So our diameter was what did we say? It is 1.32. Go back to transform. 1.32 times 3.1415926 is pi, which is 4.1469. So that will wrap around my tube completely. And so this box is white, and so I can make it, we can just make some cool graphics here. I made the outside green. Let's do a gradient. And gradient type. So, oops, I did it on the wrong item. I wanted it on this box. Gradient. There we go. And we can change the colors. Let's make it yellow at the front and red at the back. Kind of like a flame color. And then on top of that, we're going to put our flame logo. It's got a lot of crap in here. Let's see if I can get rid of some of this stuff. Okay, so there is our name, and we need to reduce the size like that, and I'm going to spin it around like that. There's RockSim. Okay, so now we'll see this white bounding box. I got to get rid of that because I only want this part here. And so I'm going to change my artboard. Okay, so there's our artwork that we're going to put on the body tube. And so now I need to save this as a JPEG or a PNG file. So I'm going to go export, export as, and okay, so PNG, I'm going to put it on my desktop and call them RockSim logo. Hit export, and that's what it's going to look like. And I'll say OK. All right, so that is going to be the wrap that we're going to put around this fin, or this tube. So let me make this screen bigger here for you. Make it as big as possible so that you can see what's going on. Okay, so we're going to come over here to the tab called Texture. This is our decals. And we need to find a file, so we'll choose the file. And then I'm going to go, and I put it on my desktop, so go to my desktop. There's my RockSim logo. Click Open. And see, it did put it on there already. So Okay, so remember, we did this, we wanted the red down here at the bottom. That's why it looks funny, okay? So we need to do some orientation of our brand new decal here. So I got a rotation here, so I'm going to grab the little slider bar and let's see, let's make it 90 degrees and see what happens, see what it looks like at 90 degrees. Okay, I'm going to start unchecking boxes and see what happens. Okay, let me go back to 0. Okay, let's try flipping around the S-axis. That did not do it. How about the R-axis? That did not do it. Okay, so if that didn't do it and that didn't do it, let's go 90 degrees. That didn't do it. Let's try 180. No, that completely spun it around. Okay, so this did not work with any of the flippers here. So what we're going to have to do is reorient the decal the way we saved it. So this is the hard part about doing decals. See, like right now, it's a wrap that's horizontal. So we need to spin this whole thing. And so I'm going to spin it 90 degrees like this. And then I'm going to change my artboard. So just, I only get the decal part. Oops, something's not right. There we go. Let's save this. So, do it again. I'm going to do a file export. Export as RockSim logo 2. Export. Click OK. All right, so now let's go back here to RockSim and we'll go to texture, then choose file, and we want this one. Click OK. All right, now that's better. See, now at least we're oriented the long way. Let's start this back at 0. And that was it. That was perfect. So that is, how to put a wrap on a rocket. So then Marcel says, can you do it just for a fin? Okay, so let's pick, okay, let's click OK here. And let's do that fin right there. So as soon as it saves this, we do a file, save as, just so I don't lose it. Oops, I just overwrote it. It's okay. Okay, so we want this fin right here. As soon as RockSim catches up to me, my computer's acting a little slow again. Fin, oh, that's a booster fin. I want the sustainer fin. Okay, so I'm going to open up the fin. And let me make this bigger for you. Okay. And what I need, I want to do the same thing. I want to do a wrap around this thing, but I need the shape of this. If I go to the plan points, I need that shape. And I could, sketch this out in Adobe in my drawing program. But I can also export out this as a template. So, and that's one of the reasons why I use a vector program, is because it can open because when we save it, it's going to be an SVG, which stands for Scalable Vector Graphics. And vector is the important word there. So as a vector, it's actually lines and not little dots. So let me put this on the desktop so I know where it's at. Hit save, and it tells me it saved it. And let's keep that open, and let's go back into Illustrator. And I want to go File, Open. And there's my fin set. Click Open. And that's the fin we wanted to use. All right, so now let's take our logo. I'm going to grab it here, copy it, and go back to my fin. And I'm going to create a new layer. And I hit paste, and there's my logo. And I'm going to rotate this fin around, or the logo around. And then I'm going to scale it so that it fits onto my fin. Just like that. Kusum. And let's change the color of the fin as well. So let's do this again as a gradient. And it was yellow at the front and red at the back. I wonder if we could rotate it around. Yes, like that. I kind of like, I want to be able to grab it. How did I do that? I'm not very good in Illustrator here. I think I have to do it like this. There we go. All right, so that's what I want my decal to look like. And let's do a file. It's got the black outline, so I'm going to make that black outline go away. Oops, that one. Okay, so now files, export. Export as, and I'm going to use a PNG, or you can use a JPEG, it doesn't matter. There's a JPEG. And then Lodestar fin set decal. Hit export. Okay, so hopefully, now this is on my desktop. And if I go back here into RockSim, and if I go to texture, and I choose file, and there's my Lodestar fin set decal, click open. And it put it on there, and like as before, it didn't put it the way we wanted. So then you have to start flipping things around. So let's flip it around the R-axis first. And that did not work. Let's try this one. That did not work. Let's try rotation. Okay, so rotation is working. Let's see if we can get it to where we want. Come on. See, this white is because we saved it as a JPEG and it picked up the white around the outside. So let's try 180. Ooh, that's close. I think it's flipped over though. There we go. Look at that. Oop. I think it's going to have to be 90 degrees. Oh, perfect. All right, so see that fin? So now you see on one side, let me rotate this around. On one side of the fin, you can see that the words are correct, but on the other side, it's flipped. So if I rotate this around, you'll see on this side over here, it's flipped. But then it's right on that side again. So that is how you add decals, which are called textures, to your rockets. Coming up with the logo is the hard part. But you can see it's just a matter of just playing around with the locations and things like that. And if it doesn't work there, then you have to go back into your drawing program and rotate them around here. So on this one here, let's rotate everything 90 degrees. There's 90 degrees. And let's change my artboard so that I only get the minimum amount of white. You want to, if you have the choice, export it out as a PNG file rather than a JPEG, because a JPEG, all the white shows up, but when you export out as a PNG, oops, didn't want that. I want to grab this, and then if export out as a PNG, and if I do file save as, so that in a PNG file, all that white is now transparent. So that's the PNG. PNGs allow for transparent pixels. And I can make this bigger. No, let's just leave it that. Hit save. Save. And let me call this Lodestar Fins Decal 2. I just want to show you what this looks like when we apply it, just because what we did is we rotated it around 90 degrees. So if I go back to the fin and choose a new file, the one that I had rotated, there it is, the PNG, click open. Did it do it again? Oh, see, I'm at 90 degrees here, so let's change this to 0. There I go. Just by rotating it around 90 degrees, I fixed it automatically. So here, if the fin is like the normal direction where the leading edge is towards the top, that seems to work as far as getting it on your fin correctly. And then for the wrap, again, the top of the rocket tube up here, the bottom down here, and that gives you the quickest, without any futzing around with the position, the rotation, and the scaling. So that works pretty good. So I hope that answered your question. Okay, so, and if you just want one fin and not all 3 fins, what you have to do, I'll click OK here. There's a easy way to fix this as soon as it's done. You go to your fin set right here, you highlight your fins, and you come across here where it says split, and you can hit that, and basically it's going to take a set of fins, which in this case is a set of 3, and we're going to split it into sets of 1. And so it asks you, are you sure you want to do that? And I'm going to say yes. And then as soon as it's done, I'll see 3 fins. So I got 1 right there, and then 2 down here. And then you can open these up, and you can put different textures on them, or you can erase the texture. And to erase the texture, all you need to do is just clear out the file name right here. So if I empty that and hit tab, it should go away. So one of the fins went away. There's my other one. So I got that one's done. And we'll do one more fin just to double check. So I'm going to go to this last fin here, edit this one, and go to the texture, erase the file, and I will also change the color of the fin so that we can verify that we have indeed removed the texture. So if we zoom in, there's one fin with a texture decal, one that's just yellow, and one that's red. And click OK. And so now you're really making your rocket cool looking. I really appreciate it when I see people put textures on rockets, and then they send me their files, because I know that took about 30 minutes to do this, what we just did. And so that tells me that a person who's done that has put a lot of effort into their rocket. And I can appreciate that more than anybody. When we do a new kit here at Apogee, we do create texture files for our rockets. So if I open up, it's like we just released the catalyst, and here in the catalyst we have a body tube with logo, and we have a fin set. I'll save that one. Oh, and it just crashed. I gotta love it. While it's reloading, let me go over here. Leonard says, "Hi Tim, I go to Oregon State University. Our Engineering 100 project was a rocket competition with payload. Our team got parts from you. The tubes were great." Well, thank you, Leonard. I'm glad that worked. "We had an accelerometer payload. Thanks to your article calculating the drag coefficient of the rocket, I was able to successfully calculate the rocket CD and get extra points. Oh, you won." Awesome, awesome. Let me open up the catalyst here. The crash that you just saw happens when you're closing one design and opening another. So I didn't lose anything. It's just a pain in the butt. And it doesn't happen all the time. It's usually like, if it works the first time, then this was the crash report from previously. So here's the catalyst. And you can see on this one, we have the logo. Oops, I zoomed in too much. There's the catalyst logo, and you can see the fins. We put this white decal logo on that. So that's the way it actually looks. Let me go over to the Apogee website. Go to Catalyst. And actually, what you get in the kit, you don't get that decal 8 times. You only get it, I think, 4 times, enough for 2 fins. And then you get an Apogee logo for your other fin. Let me see if I can find a picture of the decal sheet. There's the decal sheet. So you get 2 Apogee logos, and I think you get 2 swoops, which are these down here. They're completely white. So that's what you get right there. And so you can paint your rocket any color you want, and the white on there will look pretty good. Leonard was saying that he calculated the CD of a rocket. So if you want to learn how to do that, go to How To and Guides, come down here to the Peak of Flight newsletter, come over here to All Newsletters, and this gives you a list of all the new newsletters we've ever produced. Right now we're on 615, which came out last week. And then 616 comes out on Tuesday, January 2nd. And we got an article, Martin's written an article about AI in rocketry. And you just saw me use AI to make a logo, so that's one use of AI. But on this page, if you do a Control F or a Command F on the Mac, it will bring up a little search bar, and we can type in CD. We only have one instance of CD, how to determine the CD of a parachute. Let's type in drag. There's 16 times. Drag on different rocket shapes. That's not it. That's not it. How does drag stability? There it is, right there. Issue number 303. So if you click on issue number 303, is it loading? There we go. This will show you how to use RockSim to determine the coefficient of drag of your rocket. And basically, you fly the rocket once, you gather your data, and then you can back out your coefficient of drag. And hopefully Leonard did it, and he was using an accelerometer payload, and that's the type to use if you want your most accurate coefficient of drag. You can backtrack it using a pressure sensor, but it's not as accurate as the accelerometer data. So he gets bonus points for that. Marcel and Reggie both liked the decal explanation. Terry says painting is like voodoo magic. Fat Bank says he's talking about starting a civil war with Terry. Leonard says his rocket at Oregon State, he called it the Intercampus Ballistic Missile. That's funny. Well, I think that's all the questions that we've had so far. There's lots of comments. Yeah. Okay, where's all your questions? We still got 5 minutes. What can I do in 5 minutes? Let's see. What was I working on this week? We're working on RockSim. Last week I told you we were working on the next version of RockSim, RockSim 11. We're on version 10 right now. So if you go to the About RockSim, this is About RockSim Pro because I was using RockSim Pro. This says version 4.0.0, which is actually my beta version for what we're working on. Although this one does not have all the features because it's missing some things. But last time we talked about that the one issue that we were having that prevented us from releasing version 11 or RockSim Pro version 4 was getting it authorized. It's called code signing, so that it makes sure that you're getting legitimate software, because if your code is not signed, It's kind of, people might think it's spyware or malware or something like that. And so it doesn't come from a reputable company. So this week, we got it signed. Hallelujah, because this is taking us like over a month. So that's the good news. So now that the code is signed, now the programmer can start building it. But I'm gonna hold him off for a couple more weeks. And the reason is he's working on another new feature, and I want to get that last little feature into the program, and it's actually a pretty big feature. So can't announce it yet because it's really cool. We had another question. Reggie Morrow says, can you export rocket design with decal and print? The answer, see, what do you mean by export? So in your rocket folder, see, I created the artwork. Let's see, where's my desktop? So on my desktop, right up here, I have my decals. So it's already ready to, if I open this up, it's going to open up in preview. So that's what the decal looks like. And so when you export out a RockSim file, the decals are there. And the RockSim file is there. For an example, here on the Apogee website, if you scroll down and you go to download a RockSim plan, and I can click on here, and here are all free plans that we've put in our newsletter. And see, I know this one has a decal. So if I click on it, it's going to download a zip file. So if I go to my download folder, open my downloads. Okay, so here's what I just downloaded, is a folder called Escape Velocity. So inside of that is the rocket design file and the texture file. If I open that up, you can see what that one looks like. So it's this gray part would be clear, and so it's just a single wrap that goes around the tube. And so you could print that out. The downside is sometimes the resolution on these decals are pretty low. This one's actually pretty good, because if I zoom in on it, it doesn't start getting pixelated. What I mean by that, if you look at it, you can start to see the individual pixels. See, like here around the edge. So if I keep zooming in, they're getting pixelated. But I had to go pretty far in. So this file is actually pretty good. It's got a lot of dots per inch. But you always, when you create your files, and that's one of the reasons, and I think somebody else mentioned it, that it was a vector file. Vector files are better because, like this was a vector file. And if I zoom in, I'm looking for my zoom. See, if I keep zooming in, zooming in, zooming in, I never see pixels along the edge. Because they're lines. Each line is actually an equation. And so I can zoom in on that point and zoom in. And I'm at 51,000% right now, and there's no pixels here. It's just, it's a beautiful line. And that's why we like to use vectors as much as possible. It's just you get just better resolution. And then I can size this up and down, and no matter what size I make it, it's still going to look great when I print it out. When we release decal files, like on this Trifid, if I download this one, and if I open my downloads folder, here's the Trifid. Here's the PDF. A PDF can be vector, and we put the vector in here. So like these flames right here, this is probably all vector. Let me see if I zoom in and see if it starts getting pixelated like when we did text earlier. See, that's all vector. That's beautiful. So you can scale that up to any size that you want, and it will still look perfect every time. But RockSim doesn't import vector files. It only uses PNGs or JPEGs, and those are pixels, not vectors. Cool. Johan just arrived, and he says, too late again. Reggie says, can you print the final design on the rocket? Let me see what, so, where'd my RockSim go? Where'd it go? There it go. So there is a feature, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by on the rocket itself. You just want a picture of the rocket with the decal on it. Well, we have this one here, and you can print this out. So like I can orient it like this, and then if you go to File, Export, 3D image right here, and you have to give it a file name. So we'll call it Catalyst Drawing. And you need to tell it what size it's going to be. So I'll give it the maximum resolution here. The background color, and let's click OK. And it's thinking, and so that's the image. And you can actually still move it around, get it into the position that you want. It's just like you were in RockSim. So I can't drag it though. I want to slide. There we go. And then save image. And I think it saved it. But where did it put it? Did I say save it to my desktop? I can't remember. If I did that again, let me see where it saved it. Export 3D image. Okay, so I can tell you, I put it in here, the Catalyst in RockSim Pro 4. Did we put it in the data folder? No. Let me copy that. I'll see if I can find it. If you remember the file name, then you can go to your Finder and type in that. That's not it. I'm not sure where it saved it. Put it somewhere. No, I don't know where it saved it. But that's what you do. You can save it as an image with your decal on the rocket. Didn't put it on the desktop. He says, print what we see. And the answer is yes. You can do that. He says, thanks. I do this all the time. On the Apogee website, if you go to like any rocket kit, like if I go to the Catalyst, and if you go down here to the RockSim file, this image right here was generated. What I would do is I would export out the image and then go into Adobe Photoshop and I replace the background. And that's exactly where that image comes from. So this right here turns into that right there on the Apogee website. That's how I do it. I'm just giving you away my trade secrets. But we do this for every rocket kit. I also use the same image up here when I make this one. Because when you open this up in the launch visualizer, those decals are there. Like if I click on that right there, it's loading the launch visualizer right in the Apogee website. But this is a really cool widget. I've offered this to other manufacturers, but they've never taken me up on it. As soon as it draws the rocket there, it's getting close. It should draw the rocket right there. There it is. Except I got one decal that's wrong. I got the wrap is right. But this one flipped for some reason. Anyway. Art Applewhite is here. He's an hour late. You got to show up on time, Art. My daughter has to go back to college on New Year's Day. She's an athlete, so she's got to go back for training. And so she's got a contest coming up, and I'll be down in Texas in the next couple of weeks. So, well, wait a minute. Yeah, it's coming up. So we're done here. So, yeah, like I said, next week, Friday, I don't know if I'm going to be in Texas on Friday or not. If I'm in Texas, Martin will do this. If it's the following week, then I'll be here next week. So I'm not sure if I'll be here or Martin will be here. But we will definitely have somebody here to take over RockSim Live and keep you all awake so you can build your rockets at 10 o'clock at night when you're in England or in the Netherlands like Johan. So that's it for today. Thank you again for coming. It's been a phenomenal 2023, and we look forward to a happy new year. And I wish you a very happy new year as well. Make it a great one. I certainly going to try here at Apogee. So let me give you a countdown, and we'll end on a launch. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go out and launch something.